Good evening, and welcome to the August 1st, 2022. This is our regularly scheduled Township Committee meeting of the Bedminster Township Committee. Recognize that we have a full attendance by the Township Committee here in person. So Ms. Ray, may we please have the Open Public Meetings Act statement?
Yes, Mayor. Adequate notice of this meeting of the Township Committee was sent to the Courier News Somerville, Burnhamthorpe News Whippany, and to all subscribers and posted at the Township Municipal Building on January 6, 2022.
Great, thank you. Please join me standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we actually have a fair amount to talk about tonight. So before we get to the meeting, I will actually dispense with the COVID numbers and the COVID vaccine information as well. Because after a very busy July, it's finally August. And August couldn't have come quicker. Last meeting, we talked about issues with Live Golf and getting the permits ready. Kudos to Bedminster staff for coordinating with the folks from Live. They did get their act together and they got their applications in. The event went on as planned. No incidences of undue traffic or other offsite impacts associated with the event. I've not heard complaints from residences or neighbors of the property. I personally drove the roads around the golf course on both Saturday and Sunday. I didn't see any untoward issues. The Friday press conference and the protest groups that gathered proceeded without incident. And it's over. I spoke to some folks who did attend and said they enjoyed it. So there you go. We'll see what happens next year. And on other news, congratulations to Chief Carl Rock, who starting on September 1st, will be enjoying his retirement. Yep, it's true. So Carl has done a tremendous job. He came into the chief position, actually, I mean, this was before he was chief. He handled the police department as lieutenant at the time that Chief Meyer was going through his cancer and his last days. And as Lieutenant Rock, and certainly in the position of officer in charge at the time, Carl was a steady force in the police department, guided them appropriately through Craig's passing. And shortly after that, Carl was named police chief. And in the years that he's been police chief, once again, you know, I don't want to say steady like a rock, because that's too punny. But he's just been a mainstay dealing with the start of COVID and the passing of Sergeant L. Tariq Patterson, and handling the issues with Sergeant Patterson's family, coordinating the procession, the funeral procession. And remember, that was during early COVID, at a time where there was no opportunity for gatherings, no opportunity for large events. Once again, Carl held the department, he held it together. The Bedminster Police Department continued with his leadership in good stead. So Carl has been through a lot in his time as police chief, and we wish him a well-deserved retirement. We don't know what he'll be doing, but we hope he enjoys his time. I'm sure we'll be talking about this at our next meeting. The police committee or the subcommittee is Committeeman Stevenson and I. We've already had discussions with our labor attorney, employment attorney, about the steps to engage on the interview process for the chief position, which invariably will open up another sergeant position and so on down the line. So there's always something happening. So we went through once again a busy July, and we're now into August. And it sounds like we're going to have a busy August as well. Couple other comments I just want to make. There'll be a special announcement by who's going to cover community garden. Is that going to be Renee? Is that going to be Doug? You want to cover that in the subcommittee?
Do the subcommittee.
Okay. We'll leave that on a cliffhanger for now. And let's open up for public comment. So if you are participating in person, you can come on up to the dais. If you're participating by Zoom and you're on your computer, take your cursor, come down to the bottom of the screen. Click on participants, click on raise hand, and you'll be admitted into the queue by Ms. Ray. And if you're participating by phone, please dial *9 on your phone's dial pad and you'll be admitted into the queue and Ms. Ray will admit you.
Not seen any hands there.
Okay, let's proceed. We have one set of minutes to approve. That's the July 18, 2022 Township Committee meeting at 7:01. Any questions or comments regarding the minutes? If not, we'll take a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Permits and raffles, we usually have 6 or 7 or 10 or 12. Tonight we have none. All right, let's move on to monthly report discussion by subcommittee chair. And it'll be up to Committeeman Stevenson if he wants to lead off with the cliffhanger.
Sure, Mayor, thank you. Was away last week, so this is all with one caveat that things could have changed while I was gone, but assuming that they haven't. DPW, remember we talked last time, there's some complaints about hike and bike and the condition of that. So I was working with Kevin Murray. He reports that they've been managed to clear out a good chunk of that. They're going to continue to work on it, but again, residents, when you see stuff, let us know. We'll take care of it. We're not obviously eyeballs on everything at all times, so continue to do that, and we will address those concerns. The DPW is still just doing the various and sundry things you'd expect. They're getting the area here, the village area, ready in the stormwater grades for the paving coming up. So all is in order there. And then, yes, on the issue on community gardens, before I left, we were notified that we were granted full amount request from the county for the community gardens. I think that's $200,000 or $300,000.
Up to $300,000.
So, that's a huge, obviously, feather in our cap. We'll be able to get that site up and running with the site work. We're still going to do it in phases, so we're not going to bite off more than we can chew at this point in time, but we can at least get the site work in for the full site and then start building it out with the infrastructure. So Paul is working on getting down to brass tacks sort of paperwork in terms of getting it ready for sending out for bid. But there, obviously there's been a delay on this project. We had it sort of in queue a year ago and we put the pause on it simply because this availability of funding came up. And we thought it would behoove ourselves to hit the pause button, make the application. Robin was integral with getting that application in, and the county was received very well by the county, and they're ready to go, ready to rock and roll. So thanks to the county for that. Thanks to the commissioners, and certainly look forward to working with Renee and the rest of you to get that up and running. First thing is to get it out for bid.
So it was Doug, I know you were away last week, but I attended Committeewoman Mareski attended, Administrator Robin Ray attended, Neil Mastro Buono attended, Dawn March from the Environmental Commission attended the Somerset County Commissioners meeting, and it starts off with that you're getting commended on the grant application. And that this was the best grant application that the commissioners had seen, that it covered all the issues that they deem important, environmental, access to public areas, inclusivity. Because let's think about it, you know, a good chunk of Bedminster, 27 square miles, a lot of it is estates and single family properties with backyards, but a good chunk of our population lives in condominiums where they don't necessarily have free access to dig up the backyard and plant tomatoes or flowers. This is an opportunity for those folks to have that access to gardening, raising food, and participating in, I think the term I used at the commissioners meeting was getting dirty, right? Putting your hands in dirt and producing something. And as they were talking about our application, every one of us was pointing over at Robin because we know that grant applications just don't happen. And good ones just don't happen quickly. It requires a lot of thought, a lot of involvement with everyone else. So dealing with the park side, dealing with some of the environmental elements, certainly talking to Paul and you and Renee, putting it all together and packaging it up. And Robin, just once again, well done on putting that grant application. I did speak separately after the award was announced to Walter Lane, and Walter said, he said, we're being sincere. That was a great application.
That's
And
awesome.
it was an easy decision to give Bedminster the $300,000 for the community garden. So thank you, Robin.
Thanks, Rick.
Thank you very much.
That's awesome.
Committeeman Hickey, hopefully you have something equally important to follow up on.
I can't top that, and none of my subcommittees have met since our last meeting, so I'll just say congratulations to all involved.
Okay, thank you. Committeewoman Mareski.
We haven't met, but two quick things. That night is coming up. Want everybody to remember on August 19th at 7:30, River Road Park. It will be a new presenter this year. It's Leah Wells. So we're excited to see her and hear all about our bats. And she's going to bring the echolocator again. So hopefully we'll have some bats to hear and follow in the skies. Second thing I want to just follow up on the community garden that as a member of, why am I doing this? As a member of our committee who constantly is telling everybody, we watch out for your pennies. It was a little, I don't know how to say, we didn't want to wait for the garden to start, but when we found out that there was some money to be had, it made more sense that we would wait for that money so that we didn't take all our pennies out of Bedminster. So I think it's just another example of how this committee is really good about taking care of our taxpayers' dollars and pennies. So congratulations to everybody. And Robin, thank you so much for all that work. It really was great. I'm done. Before I start doing it again.
Committeewoman Fernandez.
That is awesome news about the community gardens. So congratulations, you guys. Good things for Bedminster. I've been kind of out of commission, but I do have just a brief update. The Somerset County Youth Alliance granted us $2,500 for the Stigma Free Initiative. And so, to continue to engage our residents and raise awareness for the stigma associated with mental health. And we'll be partnering with youth organizations through the schools. We have created a I don't say booklet with resources. So we're ordering QR codes, and we're going to be maybe doing different activities with the schools and kind of partnering with the youth in our communities. And then this Saturday, Communities in Crisis will be at the farmer's market.
Great,
And then in
good.
September, Family and Community Services will be at the farmer's market. Again, just raising awareness and kind of ending the stigma associated with mental health. So and camp is going great. I'm there every day. That's all the updates I have.
Great. Thank you. And welcome back.
Oh, thank you.
So I do have a couple subcommittee reports to update. So the land use meeting for this Thursday was canceled. There is a land use board meeting coming up on August 11th, and I believe there's 2 applications on that night. One is a residential matter, and the second is a user requesting a variance associated with a proposed operation at the presently vacant Mallinckrodt site. So that'll be scheduled for August 11th. And also on land use, one of the things that we've been working on, I've been reporting on, Colin's been reporting on this as well, is the rezoning effort for the AT&T campus. It's in process. There's been some drafts, zoning ordinances that have been floating around, still coordinating with our planner, our town attorney, the planning board attorney, and Paul Ferraro, our planning board engineer, as well as some contact with the folks at AT&T, as well as the owners of the property, MetLife. So this is certainly not a Bedminster throwing down a zoning just by ourselves, but taking the good work that was done in concert with the county and the planning study that we contracted with the county, and building on that, and once again engaging the appropriate stakeholders in coming up with some good zoning options for that property. Farmers market continues to go well. We had 919 this past Saturday, and we have, what did we have on that ridiculously hot day? It was 860 something, yeah, which was incredible because it was really hot. Yeah. But people still came out. They came out early. They got their shopping done. And by the way, they were still coming out at 1 o'clock when it was, I don't know, 97 degrees. We had the misting fans going. So thank you, DPW, for coordinating that and bringing that out there. And if it's going to be another hot one this weekend, we'll bring those fans out again. So it continues to go well. And once again, we also continue to work with our community organizations, just as Gina mentioned, of Community in Crisis, to support the Stigma-Free Initiative and talk about the opportunities that are out there for those facing mental health crises, or if they just looking for information about that for others. So Farmers Market is doing its job as a gathering spot for Bedminster residents. Agricultural Advisory Board, we had a meeting of the Ag Committee. And the concept is to push forward on identifying other properties in Bedminster that may be available, or owners that have interest in participating in conservation. And that's could be through the Farmland Preservation Program or through Green Acres. We've got, once again, great partners with the county and New Jersey Conservation Foundation, and we do have some opportunities that may be coming up. Hopefully, we're in position to report favorably over the next coming months. There's some new projects coming down our way for preservation. And the other things I want to talk about is library. So you've also probably heard Colin and I talking about what we've been doing at our library board meetings. And what I would like to do, if you, Ms. Ray, can give me share screen.
Yes, I did.
Okay, let me pull this up. Okay. welcome to the new Clarence Dillon Public Library website. So many of you who are sort of used to the old public library website and gave up on it because it wasn't working for you, this is it. This is a new one. So this is the home screen. We've got a site search up here. Thank you, Colin Hickey, who's insisted that we've got that. We've got the links to Facebook and Instagram for the library as well. Directions right here. This will bring you to Google Maps, give you directions to the library for those who may not know where it is. Our drop downs. Here's our home, about, right? Borrowing, so borrowing books, borrowing electronically. It's here. The puzzles and games you can borrow, the museum passes, because there's a lot of people who don't even know that the CDPL, the Clarence Dillon Public Library, offers museum passes. These are great, and they're a hot commodity. If you're looking to go to the local museums, including museums in New York, you can now find out what's available and reserve those. The mobile hotspots, something else that the library started doing during COVID. You get the little, I forget what they're called. What are they called? The hotspot thing.
I was just calling the hotspot.
Okay, the hotspot thing. So
That's
there's a bunch of them that you can take with you. You can borrow. I think you borrow it on a 2-week basis. I think that's right, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And if you're traveling or you're going to be somewhere that you may not have Wi-Fi, you'll have the opportunity to borrow that and have access. So it's another great program that the library is offering. Download, here's your ebooks, the digital New York Times, upcoming programs. So dividing them between the adults, kids and teens, the other services, cafe, the community garden. So remember, CDPL has been operating community garden, and they'll continue to do so, and we'll be learning from them and incorporating some of the lessons learned as they operate their community garden, bring them to when we get ours going. Also reserving meeting rooms. Notary, if you're looking to have a document notarized, you can do that at the library. You can do it at town hall, but you can also go to the library. And then opportunity support. So we've got catalog search, look for books, check your account to see how many book fines you actually owe. I wasn't looking at Doug when I said that. You don't know it. Do you owe anything?
No, I was saying you have
Okay,
to read in order to.
Okay. All right. Upcoming events. So yoga, which is very popular. The author talks where they bring in authors to talk about the books, and actually there's some online versions of author talks as well. Story time with a children's librarian. And once again, the movies that are always being shown at the library. Here's additional information, New York Times right there, Consumer Reports. These are some of the popular things. So we wanted them on the homepage screen right off the bat. And this, here's some other features that are coming up here. Let me see if it doesn't move. So Women's Forum is another event that the library runs, regularly scheduled presentations. And this is something that when we're looking at other library websites, what I thought was neat, there's a little bit of discussion at the library board about this, is posting the New York Times bestseller. So this is actually a scrolling list, and you can toggle between fiction and nonfiction. And these are the New York Times bestsellers, and you can click on this and to find out, A, is it in stock, and then reserve it from the library. So you can go directly from seeing what's on the bestseller list. Once again, toggle back and forth, continue scrolling. And that's updated, I believe, every week because it's tied to the New York Times bestseller list column. If I'm saying anything that's wrong, let me know. And you can also, if you don't have a library card, you can sign up for it right here on the homepage. So from the library board, we're very proud because this is a vast improvement of what we had. And Colin and I were both involved with the putting our own website together with Robin. And one of the things that we talked about is no more than 2 clicks. No more than 2 clicks to get anywhere on the website. And we brought that that same mantra to the library website. It was also interesting. I do want to also give credit to the library board members. Katie D. Spenzieri
Yes.
and Peg Dolson, who, for those who don't know, Peg Dolson is the high school librarian at Bernard's High. She's also very active in website design. And so Katie and Peg worked with Marie Crenshaw, that was our subcommittee at the library, to put the new website together. Yes, a lot of it was stealing from other websites.
It's how it always happens with every website design.
So, we're spending a lot of time looking at other websites, really, throughout the state and actually throughout the country, to see what features we liked and what we could incorporate it. So there it is, much improved, and it is live as of today. So today is actually the first day. I'll stop the share. And that is what I have from my subcommittee reports. Ms. Ray, may we please have the administrator's report?
Sure, it's been a busy couple of weeks. Continuing interviews for the new construction code official. We have good news. We did complete our interviews for violations clerk this year. Municipal court, we actually made that job offer, and candidate has accepted. Good news. That will round out the court. They will have a total of 5 employees that they've needed all along. That should help the caseload going forward. I'm going to add that the tax bills were received today, finally, printed versions of them. They're being stuffed as we speak. It's all hands on deck. They should be out before the end of the week. We have also included a tax insert this year again, as we do in previous years, that contains useful information and current information for residents. So hopefully residents will appreciate that. And the deadline to pay the third quarter taxes has been extended officially to August 31st. And that has been listed on our website, and a rave message will go out tomorrow morning. And that concludes my report.
Do you want to cover the chief's report?
Sure, I can cover Chief Rock's report. Okay, so Chief Rock put together a brief summary of his participation in the Live Golf overview from the police department. He said the event did not increase Bedminster's regular patrol workload. However, Bedminster recorded 2 service calls related to suspicious persons walking on Lamington Road. He said traffic was heavy at times. However, the traffic plan and resources dedicated were robust, and the increased traffic was managed. I believe the New Jersey Lottery Balloon Festival traffic did play a part in some of the traffic congestion, Pre-planned press conferences, rallies by 2 different 9/11 groups were held on Tuesday, July 26th, and a second larger one was held on Friday, July 29th. On Saturday, July 30th, and again on Sunday, July 31st, 5 persons were demonstrating on the corner of Route 206, both of which were short in duration. There was only 1 arrest associated with the event, which was the result of a domestic violence incident. Most police and EMS activity on the property were related to first aid calls, which were all handled on site by personnel. And he said from a public safety standpoint, the event was considered successful.
I will say I did speak with Sergeant Ariel on Sunday morning, and she was absolutely consistent with that same message. Everything was proceeding well without incident, and it was so well done once again to Chief Rock and actually to all Bedminster Police Department for handling another large event and handling it admirably. With that, introduction of ordinances, we have none. We do have a public hearing of an ordinance tonight, which is ordinance number 2022-011, This ordinance authorizes the appropriation of $75,000 for sewer utility capital improvement projects for the sanitary sewer transmission system at the Miller Lane Pump Station, which serves the communities of Bedminster Township, the Borough of Far Hills, and the Borough of Peapack and Gladstone. Take a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
So, Rodney, you want to just walk us through the $75,000 for these improvements?
This is our,
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
this is the routine that we do every year to put in place for the various capital improvements that come up in the sewer pump station that's shared by the three communities every year. For whatever capital improvements that we've already pre-planned, and then the ones that come up over the year.
Okay, any further questions from the Township Committee for Rodney? Seeing none, we'll open it up to the public for any comments regarding ordinance number 2022-011 for $75,000 from the routine maintenance for the sanitary sewer transmission system. Once again, if you're here in person, you can come up to the microphone. Tony, you're good? Okay, good. If you're participating by Zoom, bring your cursor down to the bottom, click on raise hand. If you're participating by phone, *9, and Ms. Ray will put you in the queue.
I'm not seeing any comments.
I'll take a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have an ordinance before us. Need a motion to approve public hearing, I'm sorry, ordinance number 2022-011.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Mr. Hickey?
Aye.
Ms. Moreski? Aye. Ms. Fernandez?
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs?
Aye.
Thank you.
Now, while we're on the sewer transmission system, hopefully in the next coming months, we'll have another cliffhanger to discuss regarding improvements to the pump station. But nothing's official, so we'll wait until something's official and announce it then. We have two items on the consent agenda. These are items of routine nature. Unless someone, Township Committee member, wants to pull it off or any item off for individual discussion. Seeing none, I'll take a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So.
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Mr. Hickey?
Aye.
Ms. Moreski? Aye. Ms. Fernandez? Aye. And Mayor Jacobs?
Aye.
Thank you.
So we do have 4 items that are resolutions that are not on the consent agenda. And the first one we'll consider is 2022-083, appointing 2 volunteer firefighters to the Pottersville Volunteer Fire Company. President, do you want to come on up?
I did.
Tony, will if you can just announce yourself, where you live, your position.
Thank you. Tony Carinelli, President, Pottersville Volunteer Fire Company, live in Pottersville. And this resolution for the 2 new volunteer firefighters, we have one very senior veteran, long-term, high-end firefighter that's joining Pottersville. Cover us particularly during the day because his shop is right in Pottersville. That's when we really struggle, is during the day. You know, nights aren't so bad, but daytime stuff. So it's a real steadying presence. He's a great trainer. He's a great leader, administrator. So the other one is a young woman from Pottersville, and she will be she's enrolled with us, and we're trying to get her enrolled in Fire Academy for Fire One. I knew both of them, I believe. I'm sure with, his name is Matt Knepsey, he's a EMT also. And I think Lauren Steinkoff is the young lady, she's also an EMT.
That's great.
So I'm looking forward to having him.
I know Matt from the days in Little League. He was involved in Somerset Hills Little League, very involved, great guy. He's moved his shop from the Burnsville area over to Pottersville. So
Yeah.
it's a great ad. I don't know Lauren, but I'm sure she's a great ad too, but I know Matt.
You know, she's great.
That's great.
We're happy to have her. And so I appreciate the resolution.
And Tony, we appreciate once again, everything you guys do over there and also appreciate you for coming here in person to walk us through the resolution.
I enjoy listening. And it reminded me of something. When you put up your new library website, Pottersville Volunteer Fire has also put up a brand new website that has a lot of new features such as recall notices, firefighting tips, firefighting safety tips, donations online now.
If you want to, we're here first and third Mondays. So we have another meeting coming up in 2 weeks. If you want to come here and walk us through the website, just as I did,
Okay, sure.
come on down.
That will be good.
Throw it up on the screen.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Tony, just a plug, what's the website address?
He's so good.
I believe,
He's so good.
I believe it is pvfc63fire.org. But I think that's what it is, but if that doesn't pop it up, PVFC will certainly get you close, so you can get to it. But I'll send it to Robin so she can distribute it.
Sure.
Good, great, thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, so we'll take a motion to approve resolution number 2022-083.
So,
Second?
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Mr. Hickey.
Aye.
Ms. Moreski.
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez. And Mayor Jacob.
Aye. So next is resolution number 2022-085. Authorizes the award of a contract to purchase a 2023 Freightliner 108 SD conventional chassis through the Educational Services Commission of New Jersey, ESCNJ Cooperative Purchasing Program pursuant to local public contracts law. Who wants to talk about this one?
Something we discussed in our, during our capital budget process. It's a replacement of a truck that we have currently. This is just the cab chassis at this point. We have not been able to put together a quote yet for the body, the snowplow, and the salter yet, but that should be coming shortly as soon as we can get
This chassis comes with an engine
yes, it does.
and a gas tank
And
or a fuel tank
fuel tank, yes.
and a set of extra keys for Committeeman Stevenson?
Yes,
Okay,
I can't confirm that. though.
But the extra stuff that you want to add still, it just pops onto the back. Is that the idea?
Yeah, it's the dump body itself, the stove body goes on the front end, so that's a separate part of the separate contract action.
What's the lead time, just out of curiosity?
Early next year. So not terrible.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
It's actually being built, there is a VIN number already generated for it. Wow. Dealer trucks anticipating. It's now buying them, so the trucks are already being built. Look over it. But still already, like, so that's how we get
so Ms. Ray, just a quick question. So I know this is going through this is going through QPA.
Correct.
So there's no amount in the resolution?
So there is, it's 108,082.56.
Oh, there, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know, I didn't see it. I didn't see it
Right,
better
and
than
the
my
treasurer did
mistake.
certify that the funds were available.
Okay,
It's part of that $205,000 bond that we had set aside originally.
right. My mistake. I actually did not see the number there. You know, it's surrounded by a lot of blank space and I should have seen it right off the beginning. Any further questions or comments? Seeing none, take a motion to approve resolution number 2022-085.
So moved.
Second. Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson? Mr. Hickey?
Aye.
Ms. Marevsky?
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez?
Aye.
Mayor Jacobs?
Aye. Next, resolution number 2022-086, resolution of support for the New Jersey Department of Transportation Route 202 Bridge over the North Branch of the Red River replacement project in Bedminster Township. Seems like we discuss this resolution every 6-7 years. So this is the bridge between Bedminster and Far Hills by the fairgrounds and by the First Aid Squad building. And this is the project that was scheduled for 2021, 2018, 2022, and now scheduled for summer 2024. And DOT is just looking for us to say,
Still support.
we still support it. And we had talked to DOT about the staging alternatives. It's still the same. This would be complete shutdown. Do it quickly. Accommodate this timing so that we're not inconveniencing the school. So we're really trying to push that work for the summer months. The alternatives, just a reminder for those who may not have been around during the first and second time we considered this. Some of the options they gave us were like a 30-month project, and then there was like an 18 to 24-month project where they would have one lane open, then another lane open, and they would essentially build the bridge in phases, literally in pieces. And we had a conversation with them, well, would it make more sense just to shut it down completely, knock it out? And they said, both from an engineering standpoint and a construction standpoint, that would be much better. And also from a timing standpoint. So at the time, we said, just do that. We coordinated with Far Hills Bedminster Fire and Far Hills Bedminster First Aid to make accommodations for when that happens. So all those contingencies would remain in place regardless of whether it was 2018 or 2022 or 2021 or 2024. So I will continue to support this plan to replace the 202 bridge. So my thoughts. Comments or questions? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to approve resolution 2022-086.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson? Mr. Hickey?
Aye.
Ms. Marevsky?
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez?
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs?
Aye.
Thank you.
Resolution number 2022-087, appointing a temporary part-time plumbing inspector, plumbing subcode official, and acting construction official to the construction department. Ms. Ray, you just want to walk us through this?
Yes, Mayor, this is a last minute addition to the agenda. We, as you all know, our construction official had resigned. He's moved on to another town. We have some vacancies that we need to fill. And while we're continuing to go through this interview process, we do have vacancy in the plumbing subcode inspector and subcode official position, as well as acting construction official. So this covers us on all three bases. This gentleman is local and willing to help us out in this time of need. So we're very fortunate to have part-time temporary hours in the morning on Wednesdays and Friday mornings.
Great. And the rate, the hourly rate is consistent with where we've been?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Any further questions or comments? Do you want to ask about his hours?
So she said part-time in the morning.
Right. So it's going to be Wednesday mornings and Friday mornings.
It's going to be the 4 o'clock shift to 8
No,
o'clock
it's
shift?
gonna be 6:30, probably 6:30 to 8:30 or 7 to 9 to accommodate the bulk of the applicants.
Okay.
Permittees that require assistance.
So he's going to pass the GINA scrutiny. All right,
I
good.
hope so.
Yeah, I mean.
It's
right
only
now,
temporary.
It's temporary.
It's temporary.
Yeah, but just making sure that he's covering the hours that.
And he's not working at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
to 6 a.m.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
that's correct.
Okay. Great. If there's no questions or comments, take a motion to approve resolution number 2022-087.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Mr. Hickey.
Aye.
Ms. Moreski.
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez.
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs.
Aye. I'll take a motion to approve the bill list pending review of individual invoices.
Second.
Roll call vote again, please. Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Mr. Hickey.
Aye.
Ms. Moreski.
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez.
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, any items that any township committee member wants to put on for new business? Seeing none, old business, let's skip COVID-19. DOT improvements, chief is not here to talk about the, what remains for the improvements over at both River Road and Hills Drive, so we'll put that off. Utilities, Committee Hickey, let's start with you.
Thank you, Mayor. As I always say, the meetings with Altice and the homeowners associations are ongoing. We're not just having meetings to have meetings. We're trying to get the proper information into the hands of the HOA so they can make a decision. The good news is we're starting to get signed contracts in, or I should say Altice is getting signed contracts in, which means I had a conversation today with Altice. When do you start digging? And it means they're going to start coordinating with the construction office to get a schedule put together. So hopefully within the next month or so, we start to see the work progressing, the real work progressing. So
How many signed contracts have been received?
so far, to my knowledge, one, but there are several that are very close in the queue. It's just wrapping up some rough edges in terms of some additional information, but I think people have been very receptive to the fact that Altice is going to not only make the investment in fiber, but in the restoration of anything that they damage. That's been the biggest question, the biggest sticking point, but they're making it right for their contract, and people just want to understand where they, and that's the other thing. You know, the question that comes off most often from the homeowner associations is this going to go right through the driveways or in front, the parking in front of the garages? No. And they're showing the plot plans now, the fiber being routed behind all the buildings in the grassy areas, because quite frankly, it makes their installation 50 times easier than having to cut up pavement. Once you get past that, I think folks' minds are at ease and they're ready to proceed.
And has Altice indicated that they will start once they hit critical mass on the number of signed contracts, or do they want to aggregate them and handle connected neighborhoods to just take the advantage of mobilization and demobilization?
Short answer is yes. The way we've been doing the meetings and grouping the conversations was to do them in contiguous areas.
Okay.
So we're not doing one up in Hills Highland and one down in Hills Village North, trying to bring them together. There are certain splice points, fiber splice points in the network that will dictate exactly where and when they can begin. But the notion is, once you've got a few in the hopper, you can get the construction rolling, because winter is never our friend. So they want to get started this year.
Right, it'd also be great, you know, I mean, I'm not sure how long it takes to actually activate everything, but as the school year starts up, once again, there will be people working remotely with their kids remotely. Hopefully we don't have any COVID situations or health situations where, you know, kids are working remotely on a regular basis. But certainly having that access with fiber is better sooner than later.
Absolutely.
Okay. Gina, any updates on your utility issues?
No, so, the last meeting I was at, so almost a month ago, I had received an email from Ms. Banks at PSE&G saying that she would be sending out the cost letters to the Deerhaven neighborhood, because the other neighbors all received their estimates and we never did. And we had the most people on our street and we just never received anything. And I still haven't received it. So I'll keep you posted.
Okay, and you still never got an answer on whether or not the dollar figure that they threw out was a dollar figure to be whacked up by the residents or per resident?
No, very unresponsive, and other people have also emailed her and she just doesn't get back to them. So, but we will see, we shall see. It's not over yet.
Okay. Gina says it's not over yet.
It's not
If she says that, I'm going with that. Doug, is it over yet?
For Ski Hill Drive, unfortunately, I think you can stick a fork in that. Look, let's see what happens.
Okay.
And maybe PSAG has a change of heart.
And are you still reaching out to the PSE&G contact to sort of push them a little bit further?
I do need to contact him. I got your number with him before I went away.
Okay. All right, good. And Pluckman Park Housing, you've been away, so do you have any updates?
I don't. The only thing we were waiting for was someone from code enforcement to walk the property just to give us an inspection report. We have polls. John and I have talked. We're just waiting on that last piece, and then we're going to put together sort of a summary of the next session. I don't know. Have we had anybody from?
So I did speak with Charlie Rogers, who was our acting construction official before he left for a long vacation. And he said he was gonna go out there, but I did not get a report from him. I know he got tied up with the efforts of that, the live golf tournament. So
That's
I will
like the
follow
last-
up with
yeah.
him.
That's the last shoe we need to, do on our side.
Okay,
But the other side, meaning the representative property owner, has been pinging me. So obviously, we want to move on this thing. So we just, the ball's in our court right now. We just need to get that last piece of information and we'll work with John and see if we can put something together.
okay. With that, we'll go to Township Committee comments. We do have an executive session for tonight. We will not be taking any formal action after executive session. So folks who, from the audience or from participating by Zoom, certainly are welcome to stick around for the adjournment, but there will be no formal action taken after executive session. With that, let's go to Township Committee comments. We'll start with Committeeman Stevenson.
Thank you, Mayor. Just wanted to touch briefly on Chief Rock's retirement. Obviously, 2022 has been a year of change for us, right? With Robin replacing Judy, Rodney stepping in for John, now losing Chief Rock. I mean, it's been a big year for us, but the silver lining, I think, behind it all is that we've got a track record of doing solid work and getting our positions backfilled with great folks. And, sitting in the room was two of them. So, it's a challenge for us and we'll get through it. Just want to assure, the community that, it's a big loss, but, we will make it happen. They're not going to see a loss in services or anything like that. But just to thank Chief Rock, essentially, I mean, what's the one thing you want out of your chief of police, right? You want a sense of calm, a sense of awareness, a sense of, I've got this, I can handle it. And, he's delivered on all fronts on that, in that respect, certainly. Before I joined the committee, we had sort of had a revolving door of police chiefs and, the stability that Carl has brought to that position. I can't thank him enough for that. And, we'll build off of that, but he'll certainly be missed. And we'll probably have one or two events to honor him and send him off, and we can give him some personalized.
He said he didn't want anything, but I told him
He wants a Ben Roethlisberger bobblehead. But all kidding aside, he'll be missed. I hope he enjoys his retirement, but big shoes to fill, but we'll do it.
Great, thank you. Committeeman Hickey.
Thank you, Mayor. Just to echo what you said about Chief Rock before and what Doug just talked about, congratulations on his retirement. I'm sure he never envisioned facing some of the circumstances and situations when he took on that chief's position, starting with obviously having a sitting president in his town during the summer a lot of times. So congratulations for handling every situation very professionally, keeping us all safe, maintaining order. We thank him for all he's done. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Committeewoman Mareski.
Thank you, Mayor. Real quick, that the website for Pottersville is pbfc63fire.org. So reach out, take a look. Want to say thank you again to Somerset County for the grant for the garden. Can't thank you enough. That's going to be amazing, especially coming from someone who has no grass whatsoever to plow up. And I think maybe EC might want to do a tree for Chief Rock. I think we might get that done. But thank you, Chief Rock, for all your help that you've been to us for over the years. And me personally and in the hills. And I'm going to cry again, so I'm going to wait. And I'll cry some more later.
Thank you. Committeewoman Fernandez.
Just to echo everyone's sentiments. First of all, I'm in disbelief that he's retiring. I'm still in the denial stage. So, yeah, I wish him well on his retirement and thank him for all his service to Bedminster over the years. And big shoes to fill, so, we'll get right on that. We've had lots of shoes to fill.
All right. So, I've already given my remarks and we'll continue to do so. We've got one more meeting with him still as our chief. He's still certainly in charge of the department. And he ran the department this weekend through all the events associated with LIV. And once again, he did a great job. So thank you, Chief. We do have an executive session, so I'll take a motion to go to executive session. And once again, we will return to formally adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
So stop recording. John, you want to stick around? Not? Welcome back. It is 9:10. The Township Committee has returned from our executive closed session. And as I indicated before, we are not taking any formal action following our executive session, but I will take a formal motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you and good night.
Good night.
Good with that.